Today is going to be a very exciting day for any Palantir shareholder out there, especially bullish Palantir shareholders like myself. Now, this company is going to be dropping earnings after hours today. Right now, it is 10:17 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And oh boy, today has really started off with a little bit of like mixed feelings on the week. A lot of people on social media are very much digesting a lot of news over the weekend. Some stuff about the Middle East, basically the U.S. and Iran is just really going back and forth with negotiation deals. Right now, a ceasefire is still pretty much kicking, which hopefully remains, and hopefully this gets wrapped up relatively soon. But Palantir is the next one in the shoot for today. Tomorrow, very exciting for, first of all, some PayPal. I'm really excited to see what their new CEO really has to really offer to the company. Maybe my position is going to actually get out of the red. I'm currently down 11.36% on PayPal. A couple months ago, I was actually down well over 25%. I did buy the dip on PayPal. A lot of people ended up selling, but I do see PayPal very much recovering. As for recovering to all-time highs, okay, no, I'm not one of those people out there. I'm not even sure if there's any people left in the PayPal community that really is pushing that extreme bullish optimism like opinion. But on the flip side, AMD is going to be huge tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be very much AMD focus. Actually, I think Wednesday's video is going to be much more around AMD because I'm probably not going to be making a post-earnings video. My post-earnings video for AMD will be on Luxurious Wednesday. But I will be talking a lot about AMD tomorrow. Today, I kind of really want to touch around Palantir, touch around some stuff in the overall stock market. And then that's basically pretty much about it for my stocks that I own. For earnings, Oracle, Adobe, pretty much TBD. And of course, ServiceNow, a new position for me on this YouTube channel. So they also just recently dropped their earnings too. Nvidia is going to be very, very big. Especially their earnings are going to be coming out here about 2.5 weeks, give or take. Yeah. So Nvidia is going to be huge. And the reason why Nvidia is going to be massive is because we already know that, Meta, Amazon, and Google have all upped their CapEx spending, capital expenditure spending, on data centers. So therefore, well, obviously, you got the semis that are going to be benefiting. The hardware are going to be benefiting. SaaS software are very much lagging, but it's going to be all eyes on very much NVIDIA, not to mention AMD tomorrow as well too, to really pretty much see how these companies are very much taking all this money, because the money has to go somewhere. When you have several largest companies in the world spending a tremendous amount of companies, well, on the flip side, there's going to be companies tremendously benefiting from that spending. And I talked about this on Friday's video. If you're new here, welcome. I am a raging stock market bull, very bullish on big tech. I cover a wide range of stuff. I'm also doing a public profile challenge on this channel. Going to try to keep this video relatively short for today on this sexy and awesome Monday. But if you enjoy my content, definitely smash the like button. Let's grow this YouTube channel organically. I will be advertising this YouTube channel among my other YouTube channels probably in the next couple weeks. My main YouTube channel is a gaming channel. It has over 200,000 subscribers. So hopefully we can get this channel soon to well past a couple thousand subs here, right? Okay, so Palantir, I kind of really want to talk about, or actually, let me go ahead and talk about some economy stuff. So oil is really giving people some hippity-jibbities, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why we're seeing the AI investment sentiment. I actually really like this survey. Now, please understand this is a survey very much. If you want to see this, just go ahead and type into Google AI investor sentiment survey, and it's gonna be the first one that pops up. This is all based on algos. It's based on very to be perfectly honest, a lot of people say this is utter nonsense. But then again, the stock market is driven by bots. I mean, if you are new to the stock market, it's going to be a little bit of a shell shocker to really understand how the market works. It's ran by bots, algos, okay? When there is really good news, you have buying pressure. Okay, really news means that stocks are going to go up very much for the short term or long term. Really bad news, you're going to have essentially the algos, the bots, pretty much selling. It's unbelievable. Obviously, you can have manual overrides, and you can have these very big hedge funds pretty much stepping in and saying, nah, no, let's buy. We've seen this many, many times, and we've also seen the opposite. You can have hedge funds saying, no, it's time to sell much harder. Okay, so something ended up happening in the last week, which is pretty interesting because during Liberation Day last year, when the markets pretty much fell like 30% ish, it was over 20%. I don't know the exact off the top of my head. It was close to 30%. And a lot of people took advantage of it. I did. A lot of people did not. And a lot of people were very, very upset about the V-shaped recovery. It was a hated V-shaped recovery last summer. Water cheers, by the way. The AI investor sentiment was the most bearish that I've ever seen it before. And it was over 60% being bearish. Obviously, we are very much past Liberation Day last year, but we started to really see the opposite pretty much emerging in the last couple weeks here. Last couple weeks, we saw more and more people become more bullish. The neutral category became less neutral. The bearish category became less bearish. And now we're seeing pretty much kind of like the opposite trend in a way. And obviously, we have more people becoming very much back into neutral and also bearish. And it could just be on very much uncertainty right now for the stuff in the Middle East. Not to mention oil has very much primarily pushed above $100. Oil is probably not... Overall, we're not really going to see a change in the investor sentiment, probably until oil is very much, I want to say, below 100 and maybe back near 90. And then you really want to talk about people not worrying about the Middle East. We really got to get back to like 75 and also go all the way to the 70s before this stuff really kicked off here in the Middle East. If we could honestly get back to $60, $50 a barrel, do I personally believe that we will, like long term, once all this stuff is said and done? I do. I do really believe this is very much a one-time surge with the conflicts in the Middle East. And how do I make that assumption? Well, before the stuff in the Middle East happened, over a month and a half ago now, oil was nowhere even near what it is right now. I mean, you go back February, you go back even December, well, there's no real stuff happening in the Middle East, and boom. So it's very clear. It's very clearly driven. Obviously, we go back on oil to friggin', oh man, it's a little unreal. You go back to oil during 2022, what was pretty much happening? Inflation. Do we have massive inflation in the economy right now like we did back in 2022? No, we don't. We have a spike in inflation. We have a spike in oil because of conflicts in the Middle East around oil, around the Strait of Hormuz. I just butchered that word entirely, but still. So back in 2022, we had massive inflation, which is very much different. So once the Middle East pretty much stops happening, hopefully soon, we will see a nice push back down in oil. And that's really going to be sending a tremendous amount of stocks very much upward. Obviously, SoFi is probably going to be getting a very much boost because I really do believe, and call me a little crazy, but I do believe that the new Fed governor is going to come in and he's going to give the market rate cuts. Now, the dude is not going to be giving the rate cuts like some people want of 0%. That would actually be very bad because that would mean that we're in a full-blown recession. But I do believe the Fed governor is going to come in and say, hey, let's go ahead and do 2 rate cuts this year, 25 basis points, each rate cut. And we're going to be getting the rate cuts back that we were pricing in earlier, or I should say later, of last year. Last year, there were talks about potentially 2 rate cuts for 2026. They were ripped off the table, and that caused a very downward cycle in the market. Because the way the market works, psychology, is the market prices in stuff for the future. And when stuff gets priced in for the future, when that future stuff gets unpriced, well, you have stocks go down. Because if stocks go up because of stuff being priced in, and then the stuff being priced in gets removed, the stocks go back down. So obviously, a lot has happened in the last 5 months, and we just very much need a lot more clarity. But mark my words, if we do get a Fed governor coming in that gives us 2 rate cuts when the market's expecting 0, you're going to see guidance around SoFi very much change. And yes, the company can go ahead and release new guidance even before earnings comes out. So, for example, SoFi just dropped their earnings and their guidance didn't change, but their guidance is very bullish. For the next several years, the company is going to be growing 30% plus. That is extremely bullish, okay? Extremely bullish. They didn't raise their guidance because their guidance is already bullish, and they didn't raise their guidance because there's no rate cuts. However, if we get rate cuts, even if it's a 1/4 basis point, which honestly, you go and get an auto loan, you go and get a mortgage, it's not really going to be a big change, okay? Let's face reality. We're talking about the stock market. We're not talking about buying a friggin' house or getting an auto loan or personal loan, business loan, whatever, okay? We are talking about the stock market, okay? However, SoFi can very well come out and say, wow, the Federal Reserve just gave us 2. Yeah, we'll go ahead and re-advise. We're gonna raise our guidance now. SoFi's gonna soar. The market's gonna be very much more FOMO-y. Robinhood stock is very much going to recover. Maybe even Bitcoin can very much recover. I actually haven't looked at Bitcoin too much today. We are very much eyeing $80,000. Oh, we broke $80,000. Ooh, we got to get above 80,000. We're trending in the right direction. Obviously, the 200-day moving average is 83,000 right now. But the thing about it is that all these things can go ahead and change in a blink of an eye. And if you are not in this market, you can miss opportunities in a blink of an eye. If you've been following me on this channel for the last, 6 months now, I've been in the market. And I've been buying stock once again when nobody wants to buy stock. I did this during Liberation Day last year. I did this all throughout 2024, up till the election. I did this during 2023, during 2022. I did this during COVID when I got into the stock market, March of 2020. And I was also buying stock in 2021. Bad example because everyone was buying stock, including this guy. So the whole point is that you gotta be in when there are tough times. Okay, so Palantir. Palantir's earnings are going to be very much being looked at growth rates. this company and this CEO, Alex Karp, has shocked like the world. And there are people in the Palantir community, which I love, listening to them. I love communicating with them. They are so bullish. And I love listening to everyone. Obviously, bearish people are very much saying that they cannot maintain their growth rates and they're going to start decelerating their growth rates, which then the company is going to becoming a value play. Right now, their growth rates are just crazy. 78% they ended up putting up. Actually, wait a second. I believe it was 70, 72. Oh boy, don't quote me on that. Oh boy. It went from 68%. I'm pretty sure it's either 70, 72, or 78. Pretty sure it's not 78. Pretty sure it's not 72. Pretty sure it is 70. Hold on. What was Palantir's growth rate previous quarter? 70%. Their growth rate for the previous quarter was 70%. 70. Okay. The previous quarter to that was 68%. The previous quarter to that was, I believe, in the high 40s or low 50s. It exploded. Now the stock sold off because people saw it as being very fearful. A lot of people stepped in and bought shares. I ended up buying some shares too. Why did people think it was very fearful? Is because people are forward thinking and they're like, can this really be sustained? So right now, Palantir needs to come in with 70 plus growth rates. If they come in with 70 plus growth rates, you're going to see a war basically pretty much happen. A war is going to happen because you're going to have people that are going to be very much saying, this company is the new age of companies. Obviously, they can sustain very high growth rates because of what they're doing. And what they're doing is they're an AI driven, they're a solely AI company. We've never really seen a company like this before. So are they, in sense, a camaraderie company? Pretty sure I just messed up that word. Are they a dime a dozen? Can anyone replicate what is Palantir is doing? A lot of people view Nvidia as one of a kind. I disagree with that. AMD is obviously the same as Nvidia. You also have the other semi companies as well as Nvidia. What about Intel? Okay, like AMD is no different than Nvidia. Nvidia is no different than AMD. They both sell chips. The only difference is that AMD was 2 to 3 years behind Nvidia. So the thing about Palantir is that, sure, you have other AI companies out there. SoundHound is definitely one. I don't really talk about SoundHound that much. I'd rather more talk about Palantir very much leading the AI sector. But the thing about Palantir is that it's all about when their growth rates are either going to slow down, and that's when it's really going to step in. But here's the catch. If Palantir doesn't put up 70 plus growth rates, and they put up 50 or 60% growth rates, the company still grew massively. Okay, massively. It's going to make people sell the friggin' stock. It's going to take away, though, a lot of the growth crazy investors. Now, am I overall bullish on Palantir? Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm a shareholder of Palantir currently. I honestly don't. I've put out content before around Palantir, and I've been wrong in the sense that they blew away what I thought was going to happen, which is not a bad thing about it. It really is not. Like, if you say the company is going to be doing something and they come in better than what you think, it's like crazy, right? Talk about like their earnings being like a quadruple of, like, a perfect GPA of 4.0. They come in and their GPA is like 5.0. It's like off the charts, right? So it's going to be really interesting, especially for their earnings call tonight. I'm going to be listening on in. In the future, I will be doing some streaming around earnings call. But tomorrow I'll basically pretty much be making a video talking about Palantir, talking about AMD as well too. So definitely stay tuned. I'm going to wrap up today's episode very much on this note. If you are a Palantir shareholder, this company is obviously not going away like a lot of people have said. It's just the company has very much ran up massively. And we got to really see if this company is going to be turning into a value play, or if it's still going to be a growth company. But I mean, if they come in and smash earnings tonight and put up insane numbers, maybe we're going to head back to all-time highs. Hopefully we do. Otherwise, once again, if you enjoyed today's episode, smash a like button as always, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Later.